Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some malicious compliance. You want a big discount on this medication that can't be found anywhere, or else you're going somewhere else? Okay, good luck finding it. For context, I work in a pharmacy in Canada, and the way pharmacies make money is to charge a slight markup, which varies, on a medication and also at a professional dispensing fee, which can vary store to store, but most are around $9 to $10 per medication. Of course, people ask for discounts all the time because of this variation. I try to work with people as best I can, especially someone who takes multiple medications very frequently. I do my best to charge them a reasonable amount because I know these fees can be hefty and medication is important. Often people ask to match Costco's pharmacy price, which is around a 1 to 2% markup and a $3.99 fee. Anyone in the industry knows that this is basically ridiculous and Costco is not making any money from their pharmacy. Their pricing is to get people in store to pick up other items on the way. In addition, finding parking, navigating the aisles and hordes of people, and having to wait a very long time before you get your prescription usually deters a lot of people from going. So, a new lady, M, whom I've never met, comes into my pharmacy with a prescription for a medication. Let's call it Drug X. It's an older medication that's been phased out several months because there were other similar medications introduced that cost significantly less. So, demand dropped and the company stopped producing it. However, there are a few people who still swear by it and still want Drug X because it worked better than its alternatives for them. When these patients on Drug X heard that the drug manufacturers was stopping production, many people got prescriptions for months/years and bought out basically every bottle. So, all the major stores had zero stock left over. I just so happened to have a few bottles in stock that were good for another 5 years, likely the final batch made. So, I tell M that she's in luck and that I happen to have it in stock. She asks me how much, and I give her our standard price, which has a 10% markup on the cost and a $12.99 fee. It's a mum and pop store, so usually the dispensing fee is on the higher end. She scoffs at me and tells me, "I better match Costco," or she'd never come back. I said, "Look, I'm sorry if you were taking other medications frequently, I could work with you and help reduce the fees, but I can maybe bring it down a few bucks at the most since it's just a one-time pickup." She literally starts screaming that she'll give us the worst reviews, etc, etc. How I'm being completely disrespectful and she'll never do business with me again. I knew this medication was likely not available anywhere, so I stuck to my guts. I told her again, "I'm sorry, but I couldn't match Costco. We'd basically be making no money if I did." She asks for her prescription back, literally snatches it from my hand, calls me rude and that I had the worst customer service ever, and I just lost a ton of business and storms out. Over the next few hours, I received 4 calls from 4 separate Costco pharmacies asking me if I could provide a source of where I bought the Drug X from, because their wholesalers don't have it, and they have a patient who claims I had it in stock. Poor employees were just trying to help this lady, and of course, I told them it was honestly just extra stock and I had the same wholesalers as them. They all thanked me and went back to dealing with this lady. She was clearly shopping around for it. As luck would have it, a very frequent patient of mine came in and had a prescription for Drug X for her son that he's been looking everywhere for. He had tried every pharmacy in the area and had his mum bring it to me. I filled it for her and she happily paid the full price and was so thankful and even brought me some baked treats the following week. 2 days later, as I'm at work, I see M come into the store, not making eye contact. She gave me the same prescription, now crumpled up and stained after likely being handed by several other pharmacies. She says, "Alright, whatever. I'll pay your extra ridiculous fee. Thought I'd give you some business after reconsidering." At this point, there were 3 others waiting, So I told her to have a seat and wait, because technically the prescription still has to follow the workflow, which involves an electronic stock check, even though I know we don't have it. I'd usually give people a heads up if they knew in advance to avoid waiting, but she can wait. 25 minutes go by and it's her turn. I call her name to the counter, and with a pretty big smirk, I said, "Unfortunately, ma'am, we've completely run out of drug X and you have no way of obtaining it at this time. You'll have to try another pharmacy." She interrupted and said, "But you just had it 2 days ago. I was just here." I informed her that another patient had depleted our final stock after she insisted on going elsewhere. She hung her head down, meekly took her prescription back, and went out the door without a peep, dragging her feet the whole way. She had wasted at least 4 or 5 hours going to pharmacies for what basically amounted to a $14 difference. And in the end, she didn't get her way. Oh, it felt so good. It would be so good if the people from the Costco, like the 4 or 5 different people, actually saw this video or the story and was just like laughing, because they deserve the malicious compliance as well. Want me to answer every call? Sure thing. Enjoy your wait. Background. Part of my job involves taking calls from the public to offer various types of support. This can range from tech support to helping people find services in our county that they need. My team is me and one other person. Between us, we have to cover 7:30 to 7:30 Monday to Friday, and weekends as well. Because of this, and the fact that the company won't invest in a call waiting for us, we can only take one call at a time. Our voicemail quite clearly states that we're a small team, but if you leave your name and number, we aim to get back to you within 5 minutes. Normally, people are rather understanding of our situation and are happy to wait for us to call them back. But as the world is full of impatient douchebags, we often get voicemails just criticizing us. Now, this happened today, and I've been wanting to react this way for a long time, and finally got the opportunity to. Me, and douchebag caller AC. AC in a voicemail. "This is ridiculous. I was told to call this number, but what is the point in telling people to call if there's nobody to answer the phone?" AC then calls again. "Hello, you're through to customer service, Crackbear speaking, how can I help you?" "Oh, so now you answer the phone. What is the point in having a number if you never answer in?" "Ah, did you leave us a voicemail? I've just listened to it, but unfortunately, you didn't leave any contact details, so I was unable to return your call. Thank you for calling back. How can I help?" "You should answer every call that comes through." "Well, unfortunately, there are only 2 people in my team, including myself, and there tends to only be one of us in at a time. So, if I answered every call, I'd end up having to keep putting people on hold, and that really doesn't seem fair. Regardless though, you're through at the moment, and I'm happy to help however I can. You can help me by doing your job and answering the phone when it rings." At this point, I'm like, screw you lady, so sod it, I'll comply. "Okay, sure, I'm sorry that I've annoyed you. I'll make sure to answer the phone whenever it rings. Now, how can I help?" The douchebag caller starts to describe her problem. Then, the phone rings. "Oh, I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. I'll have to place you on hold." "Wait!" I put her on hold. I then help this person calling take my sweet, sweet time, like going above and beyond just to keep this other woman waiting. Plus, you know, it's nice to help people. I then take the douchebag caller off hold. "Thanks for your patience. Now, you were saying?" "How dare you put me on hold, especially—" "Oh, I'm sorry, the phone is ringing. I'll have to place you on hold." I put her on hold. You can see where this goes. I think I managed to keep this going for about 15 to 20 minutes before she hung up and I'm in for the next 10 hours. God, I hope she calls back. You see, I think they got it all wrong. She's only supposed to answer when that person calls. Everyone else is irrelevant, it's just this one caller. I don't care who the F hired you. I was working as an assistant for a photographer in the automotive advertising business. We had a big client in the auto supply end that supplied original equipment, OEM, parts for the car manufacturers. Every car in the world uses these parts. The only problem is that the product never photographed well. It always looked like the wrong colour, bland, plasticky. It just didn't pop when photographed. So I took a few home with me and worked very hard to make them pop. I showed the ad agency my technique and the client loved it, and that's how we photographed them from there on. It saved them a ton of money on expensive retouching pre-digital days. They liked it so much that they would fly me to events around the country to make their product look good. They would even send their product to me so I could make them look good and then send them around the world to different events. The art director asked me if my technique would work on motion film. Again, this was pre-digital. And I told him it would. He asked me if I could work with them on a TV ad that they were going to do, and I said yes. He told me to be at such and such studio and what time to be there for a pre-production meeting. I showed up early and there was only one other person there, and he told me his name and that he was the director of the commercial. I told him my name and what my job was going to be. He said he didn't care who hired me, that he was the boss and I would do what he told me to do. I said no problem. We had the meeting and were to start filming the following Monday. I showed up Monday morning and he told me to start doing whatever it was that I do. He also mentioned that if he didn't like it, he would scrap it. I said no problem. I started doing my thing and he would come by and make some snide comment and then walk away. The next day, the set was done being built and the product was ready. I set up the product and the director started to light the product and kept saying it looked terrible. I told him that if he moved one light to here, another there. He stopped me right there and said, again, that he didn't care who hired me and to just shut up. The art director showed up just after that happened, and he said that it didn't look as good as it did in the still photos that we had done previously. I told him that it was the lighting style that they were using. He told the director to let me light it, and after some grumbling, he said okay. I started to light it and it was looking good. The art director had to take off, and he had brought another art director with him, a new but experienced guy. As he was leaving, he called us all together and in front of the director and the new art director, he said, "I don't want one single frame of film shot unless me says it's okay." The director was angry, livid, and irate. Then the art director said to the director, "I'm the guy who hired him." Then he left. Commercials, as with movie making, time equals money. I made sure to take my sweet time and cost the director a lot of money. The commercial looked great, and I was brought in on many other commercials. The director was not. I'm not sure how he knew about what the director had said to me, but it was great to see the director's face fall. Wow, that guy sounds like an amazing person to work with. You know, just walking in, first time meeting him, and he tells you to shut up, like, oh okay, I'm probably not going to be friends with you. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now, or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.